At home, we're talking about how to make corned beef and cabbage, but on a budget. We have Alex Vickers, the owner of BurnDown, with us today. It's so early. Thank you for coming in. Okay, no, I really appreciate it. Okay, so this is interesting because you are talking about like how much per plate would this cost, like your recipe right now.
Right. Ultimately, that's how I look at cost as a restaurant owner. You know, is what's the per plate cost. And what's really nice about this is, you know, with the beef prices, they can kind of go up and down. You want to find a way to, you know, get that price down and manageable. So what I did here is we've got a sort of pre-sliced corned beef. You can get this at any store. So you don't need to go buy a $200 30-pound brisket and soak it for 10 days in a curing solution. You can just go to the store today, grab this for a few bucks, and it's still got a lot of flavor.
Oh, great. Okay.
So beyond that, we've got, you know, just your standard potatoes. And the beauty of this dish to me, Anusha, is how versatile it can be. You can throw in whatever kind of potatoes you want, whatever you've got on the shelf, whatever might be going bad soon. Grab those, cook them, toss them in. Same with the carrots, onions, whatever you've got to add some flavor to it. The core of this dish, of course, is the corned beef and the cabbage, which, you know, if we're looking at this dish that I made today, we're looking at $225, $250 per portion, and that's about a half-pound portion per person. So a nice dinner for someone who's relatively hungry.
That is a great tip about the meat, because that can, you know, go beyond this dish as well, right? Like you just tap into that whatever you want to make it budget friendly.
Exactly. So, you know, for me, like I like to smoke meats at my house, but I, you know, you're buying a 20-pound brisket, that can add up. And if you're just living, you know, to me, my wife and our daughter, we're not going to go through all that. So I have to portion it, cut it up, and that works. But, you know, for me, I get these recipes, and then I see when I get home to make them, it's 8 to 10 hours to prep. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have that time. I was trying to eat in 45 minutes. So we're talking about savings of time here too. You know, when you get that pre-sliced corned beef, you are paying a little bit of a premium for, you know, the work that was done in advance, but you're also saving that in time. So you can make this dish in 45 minutes to an hour as opposed to 8 to 10 hours in a crock pot.
I feel you deeply. I mean, like, we got 30 minutes. What's for dinner today?
My daughter's crying. She's got to go to bed. I got to finish dinner.
It's a mess. I get it.
It's a nightmare.
Okay, what else do you have over here? Like, what else goes into this?
Okay, yeah. So what we have, you know, we've got these fingerling potatoes, which I really like. I cooked them up separately in the oven to get a nice crispiness to them. For me, corned beef and cabbage is tasty, but oftentimes it lacks texture. You know, so we've cooked these in the oven, and I wouldn't stew them with it. I tossed them in here just for the show, but I would throw them in at the last second to keep that texture. Otherwise, they'll soak up the moisture from the cabbage, and you kind of lose what you gained in the oven. And then same with the corned beef. What I did is I got a kind of a heavy sear on it. So instead of just that standard, you know, deli meat cut, you kind of get a little bit of crispiness, almost like you get with bacon. You know?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
It's got some color to it, right? Yeah, so that's for me. But yeah, so you can kind of dress it up, dress it down, however you want to, and that's what I was saying. The versatility is amazing. Over here, you know, you can do the Reuben with your corned beef and your cabbage or your sauerkraut. Over here, I like to do a little dollop of, you know, like whole grain mustard with it, but you can also do like a horseradish sauce. You know, again, whatever you've got at home to kind of add that bite to it. You know, so this one for me is really easy. I made this in an hour, you know, this morning, which was not easy, let me tell you. Things were pretty crazy at the restaurant yesterday, but
I bet.
We're here and we cranked this out, no problem, and it's really good too. We're really happy with it.
Thank you so much for coming in. This is so helpful for folks. You know, we're looking at a price point just over $2 a plate, which is really great and saves you some time, so that's great. We're gonna send it over to Chris. Chris, I know you're already saying, you're like, what is that amazing smell?
I literally was gonna say that. It smells awesome.
We'll save you some.